So I always love to hear that story we heard in the first reading today about Eli and God and Samuel. And I always imagine Samuel to be a teenage boy who is awakened several times during the night. We can imagine how that would go, right? And I imagine he's got messy hair, his eyes are squinty, can barely keep them open, he's kind of groggy, stumbling around, and probably even grumbling under his breath. What does he want now? Can't he just let me sleep? So I always like to think of that teenage boy being called. And what God is telling us through that story is that whether we know it or not, God is always calling us. And he will never stop calling to us until we kind of do what Samuel did, until we kind of quiet ourselves so that we can listen and hear what God is saying and then respond. And our response, it's the same as Samuel's. Speak, Lord, I'm listening. So we do that right now, at this very moment, wherever you are. Speak, Lord, I'm listening. Let me hear what you have to say to me today. And when we listen, one of the first things we hear is that question that Jesus asks the two guys that were following him. What are you looking for? And that question is for each and every one of us, wherever we are right now, at this moment. What are you looking for? Now, sometimes our answers to that question might seem really simple and sometimes even pretty silly. It's like, really, Jesus, you want to know what I'm looking for? I'm looking for my cell phone. I haven't had it in 2 days, and I don't know what I'm going to do without it. I'm looking for my cell phone. Yeah, kind of silly. And you know what? Jesus will help you find that cell phone. But if we leave our answer just to that, we're kind of like Samuel going to Eli for the first time. It's not really the answer Jesus is expecting to that question. So guess what? He's not going to leave us alone. And at some point, we're going to hear the question again. No, really, what are you looking for? And sometimes our answers to that question can be a little bit more serious and even a little bit more complex. I remember talking with a woman downtown, and as we finished, she asked me what my name was, and she wrote it on a pad of paper that she had. And I asked her, well, what's that for? I thought I might have gotten in trouble or something. She said, no, that's so I can pray for you tonight. And she began to tremble and broke down into tears and said, I am just trying so hard right now to get my life back together. So maybe that's what we're looking for. Maybe there has been some catastrophic event in your life that leaves you feeling like it's just all fallen down around me. I just want to get it back together. And you know, you can trust that Jesus will help you get it back together, help you get it to some type of normalcy. But even then, we're going to hear that question. Now, what are you really looking for? And sometimes the answer to the question is an honest, I don't know. I don't know what I'm looking for. And you know what? Right now, I really am not worried about it. I'm young. I have a lot of time. I'm just going to enjoy myself, and I'll worry about that stuff later. If we spend enough time in this place, we're going to get really uncomfortable because we're just wandering, just going through the motions of life without any real direction or purpose. So I think everything we're looking for, what we're really looking for, it doesn't come from out there. It comes from somewhere else, somewhere deeper. You know, the external things are really important and even critical for our survival, but they don't leave us fulfilled. They don't leave us happy all the time. Recently, a friend of mine told me that just knowing that somebody cares means everything. Just knowing somebody cares means everything. That's a clue to what we're really looking for. We're looking to be noticed. We're looking to know that to someone, we're important and we're significant. We're looking to know that we are known and loved just the way we are, just the way God made us. We're looking to know that we really do matter to somebody. We matter enough that they care about us. So where do we find that? And I think if we do exactly what Samuel did, we can find it. Speak, Lord, I'm listening. And this time when we listen, we hear Jesus say, come and see. And when we accept his invitation and go with him and stay with him, he shows us the answer to that question. He shows us what we are really looking for. The deepest happiness, meaning, and peace that this life can offer us. He shows us what we're seeking. And it's a relationship. It's a loving relationship with Jesus. That we will go on looking for it until we find it. And once our lives have been awakened through our relationship with Jesus, then it's our turn. It's our turn to do the greatest thing we have to do on this earth, to fulfill our purpose for being alive. To go to those that we know, to go to those that we love, and invite them to come and see. To journey with them to that happiness, that meaning, and that peace. And to accompany them into that loving relationship with Jesus. So I'd like you to take a moment and just focus on the crucifix above me. Do you know that when Jesus laid his broken and bloody back on the wood of that cross, that he was thinking about you? Do you know when he allowed that first nail to go through his hand and felt all the pain that went along with it? He did it because you are so important to him. Do you know when he took that second nail in his other hand? He did it because of how much he cares about you. And when he let that last nail go through his feet, do you know that he did that because you matter? You matter more than anything to him. And then he hung there so that you would always be reminded of how much you are loved. Jesus gave his life for you. And he comes back here today to be with us, alive with us, for that relationship, to give us what we're really looking for, to give us his life, to give us himself. And all we need to do is tell him to speak, Lord. We're listening.